All right, guys. Hey, this is Tim Lloyd again from Checkpoint, security engineer here based out of Chicago. And what I wanted to do for you today was really just give you a tour of our Smart Console management interface so that you could get a pretty decent feel for how we manage Checkpoint security gateways. So do appreciate you guys coming in, stopping by, and spending some time with me. Thank you very much. What I'd like to do is really just kind of navigate through this navigation menu here on the left. And I want to start with security policies. This is my security policy. And you can see that I've got it built out into different sections. You can collapse them. Um, and really what I want to do is first show you, like any one of these sections of rules, you're going to find pretty much the standard inputs that you might see in a typical firewall management application. So you can see here I have some rules that dictate how traffic will flow in my internal gateway, plus some other things that are coming in from the outside. But first, you can see this column. I've got a hit column. So I've got a lifetime counter that's keeping track of how many times a rule has been hit. Obviously, this one isn't doing much good. I could tell you why, but we won't get into that. But I recognize this is probably just a rule that needs to be cleaned up. You can see this is my internal gateway, is the name of this particular rule. The source is my internal network here in my lab, and the destinations are the security gateway and the management server. I'm accepting traffic over these types of services. So HTTP, HTTPS, you can see this is what I'm accepting between my network and the security gateway and the security management server. Now I'm also accepting it and I'm logging the traffic. There are a number of other rules. Really, the main thing I'm trying to accomplish here, and you'll find that every rule set for every organization is unique, but this is really about managing communication between and to my security gateway and my security management server, right? I'm allowing the gateway to talk to the management server and the management server to talk to the gateway. Any service, any port, I'm accepting that traffic and I'm logging it. And then I have here at the bottom that I want to cover with you real quickly here. This is one of two standard or at least recommended rules that we would encourage our customers to have, and this is a stealth rule. This is going to block all other traffic communicating to my gateways. It shouldn't happen. I'm going to drop it. So you can see that I'm allowing communication between the gateway and the management server. I'm allowing certain services to communicate to my gateway and my management server. Everything else is getting dropped. Cannot directly communicate to these guys, and that's just a good security posture standard in the age of zero trust. Now, I can make changes to any of these rules. Why don't I do that? I want to show you something interesting called the change report. So let me make a small change here. We're going to change this log. We'll go more, and we'll change it to detailed log and say OK. Now you can see I have this change tab highlighted. If I click on here, it's going to launch a change report. I mean, it's going to show me exactly what has changed, right? This is very helpful. You might be in a session, you might get distracted, and you might come back, and you might have forgotten what changes you made. Now you can see there's been an edit, and there was an edit to the stealth rule. The log was changed. So This is a really little helpful a report in the event that you need to recall what you changed before you commit and publish changes, right? And in the world of Checkpoint, in order to commit a change, first you have to publish it, and then you have to install policy for those changes to take effect. Now, I'm going to just discard those changes because really they weren't meaningful. Um, so let's let that those changes be discarded. That'll take just a second. Okay, there we go. Now, what I want to do is show something that's pretty cool at Checkpoint. I want to talk to you guys for a moment about inline layers. Now you can see that this is my rule, actually my rule set, because there is a subset, right? So if I expand this, you can see that I've got a subset of rules here. These are inline layers. And the nice thing about inline layers, it helps you to get more granular and organized with your rule sets within a single type of rule. So now I know that all of my rules around internet traffic are going to start with a 10, 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, etc. So when I see a rule 10, a rule that starts with 10, I know that it's related to my internet traffic. So just really nice, neat, administrative way to organize your rules. I guess another quick thing that I would say is you can see that um, here's my hit counter. I've got 7 hits, right? And if I look down below, I can see the logs, right? Some of those are from today. In fact, they're all from today, it looks like, because I'm looking at the last 24 hours. So 7 hits over the last 24 hours, and I can look at those logs. They're all drops, right? So this is HTTPS traffic. The source is my laptop. So this is the laptop that we're working on. You can see that it was rejected. Why? It was rejected by Rule 10.2. So this is some spammy, nasty stuff that was rejected by Rule 10.2. So there, 10, it starts with a 10. I know that's internet traffic. And we can see that the rule name is scam. So this is blocked by the scam engine of the URL filtering. Oh, that's the name of my bad. That's the name of the traffic. So you can see that you can really get to your logs pretty quickly. I can look at this stealth rule. I can query by IP address. I can query by port. If I wanted to see, the source of 192.168.22.25, that's something on my network. You can see that it was trying to communicate directly to the security gateway, and it got dropped via the stealth rule that shouldn't be happening. All right, so kind of coming back to inline layers. Inline layers are, again, a very great way to organize your rule set. Makes it easier to get granular and to manage them. Why don't I walk through some things here that I've got, right? You can see that I've got some illicit sites that are blocked, right? Anything coming off of my network here, going out to the internet that falls under any one of these URL categories is going to get blocked. It's going to drop, it's going to get logged, and it's going to issue you a message that you've been blocked by dad. So I can come here and click on more, And you can see that that's the user check message that I have. If I want to see what's in that message, I can come to user check. And here we go. You've been blocked by dad. And this is what that message says. We could see it in action. I've got my lab box running, and we can go to a nasty site and see that happen. So let's go to a gambling site. We'll go to gambling.com. It's the one I like to use. And you can see, boom, you've been blocked by dad. I don't think so. Actually, this website you're trying to reach is blocked according to dad's security policy. So any one of the 5 children in my household trying to get to gambling.com would get this message on their device if they tried to get here. So just really powerful stuff. So coming back to my policy, wanted to show you guys how that worked. You can have informative messages. I have this informative message for Reddit and Instagram. We can add other social media sites to this. So we could say, how about LinkedIn? LinkedIn. We can add LinkedIn. So now we're going to add LinkedIn, and the action is going to be to inform the user with this message. So let's install policy. So we'll publish that and install policy. So this is my standard policy on my gateway install. So that's going to crank away, and that's going to run. You can see the details here so that you can see the access control policy, which is this guy, and the threat prevention policy are currently getting reinstalled. I could have skipped the threat prevention policy piece because they're decoupled, but they're pretty quick. So we'll kind of just let that run, and we'll check that out here in a minute. But you can see that I've got these categorized, right? So I've got this scam rule, phishing, spam, high-risk site, risk sites, botnet sites. And then I've got this, what I call the blacklist, child abuse, hacking, a lot of these URL filtering categories. Here's the gambling category that blocked us from going to gambling.com. All right, so that policy has succeeded. So now if I come back to my lab box and I go to LinkedIn, you'll see, there's the access notification. Remember, you're on dad's network, and that means that access to LinkedIn is monitored. So don't do anything wonky. Think before you do. Click OK, and then boom, you're in on LinkedIn. So pretty cool technology. I'm going to remove those. So if I just right click, I can click on remove, and I can install policy. That's going to first publish, then install the policy. So you can click on publish and install policy later. If you have changes that need to be published and you hit the install policy, I'm going to let you do both in one foul swoop. So we're going to click on install, and we'll let that happen in the background. So that's inline layered rules. I guess one other thing that I would mention that's pretty cool, if you're new to URL filtering, one of the things that you could do is you could create a rule. Say you have an organization where you allow people to do Facebook and that's it. So you can accept Facebook here, and then inform the user, and then you could add a new rule below, and you could add social media. So if I said social networking, there we go. So I've added, so if I throw social networking here, and I throw in my local network going out to the internet, and I'm dropping it, okay? And then maybe I want to add some logs. Okay, so now what this is going to do is it's going to allow access to Reddit as the only social media platform that would be accepted, and they'll get this informational message. Everything else is going to be dropped. I could drop it with the message, blocked message access control. So that's going to send a standard blocked message to the user. But we're going to discard that. Just wanted to show you that's just some of some of the things, powerful things that you can accomplish with URL filtering and application control. These are two of our Blades. Application control uses deep packet inspection to identify and control applications regardless of port and protocol, and it works together with URL filtering in conjunction with HTTPS inspection. So we're opening up the stream of traffic, and we're doing deep packet inspection to understand the content, what it is, and to enforce these application-based rules, right? So it's very powerful. You could add a rule to internet traffic to say, we're going to add a rule. We're going to add a rule below. Let's just say it's nice that you can drag and drop from other rules, right? Just for a real nice convenient way to make things happen. First, let's say we want to block uploads to Dropbox, right? So we can do that. So I'm going to type in Dropbox. All right, there we go. Uploads to Dropbox. Boom. I'm going to drop that, and I'm going to inform you with block message. There. Now I'm going to block everything that has everyone who's trying to upload to Dropbox. Maybe you want to cut down on some of the bandwidth hogs that are happening in the enterprise. You can certainly block those streaming services like Netflix, right? That's are people that are people actually checking out at work and just enjoying Netflix all the day long, right? We can drop Netflix as well. So this is a nice way to get back some of those resources that that get eaten away from those intensive streaming resource hogs, right? Like Netflix, maybe YouTube, and the like. And discard that. Whoops. Because we don't care about those changes. All right. I do want to spend some time talking about the threat inspection policy. So let's do that. So let's come down here to our threat prevention policy. So this is it. It's just one rule, right? And really, here's the action that's being taken. And by the way, you can quickly see that this is running IPS. It's running, you can hover over these anti-bot, antivirus, right? Threat emulation. These are the different blades that are running here. And this is the profile, the threat profile that defines how these threat blades should take action, right? So I can see the profiles. Here they are. These are the profiles that we have. These basic, optimized, and strict are out of the box. Basic is mostly detect and running IPS only. Optimized is a nice middle ground, right? And you can't change these out of the box profiles. They're set. You could use them, but you can't change them, but you can clone them. So clone, this is what I've done. I've cloned the optimize and I appended Teloid 22 to the end. And this is the profile that I have defined in my threat policy. And we can open it up and take a look at it. It's just worth noting, you can see I'm doing threat emulation, threat extraction, zero phishing. I'm running all the threat prevention blades. You can see my active protections, right? When it comes to performance impact, I'm only looking at medium and lower. And when it comes to severity, uh, uh, the type of the criticality of um, the protection, I'm looking at medium or above, right? So this is a nice trade-off of performance and security. And here are kind of the actions that I'm taking, right? I'm preventing everything that's high confidence. I'm preventing everything that's labeled as medium confidence. I'm only detecting low confidence. So this is my profile. There's a lot of other stuff here, but I don't want to get too deep into the weeds with you. I would like to show you my IPS protections. This is what I'm protected against, right? One of the nice things that you can do is, you can search by the search by CVE. Oops, CVE dash 2022 um, dash 34228. So if you have an executive or a business leader who comes to you and demands to know, are we protected against this CVE? You can come here, quickly show that the network is protected against this CVE. That's what this little shield means. So here's my optimized Teloid 22 profile that's in my threat prevention policy. You can see that the confidence level is medium, the severity level is high, the performance impact is medium, and I'm preventing it. It falls right into the threshold, right? So this is a good guy to prevent. And you can see that the shield is something that I'm preventing. The little circle with the X through it means it's inactive. I'm not doing anything with it. I can change that by right-clicking. I can detect it and I can prevent it, right? So I've got some options here, so I can make some quick and easy changes. I could flag something, an IPS protection, if I need to really dive deeper or come back to it for any reason. I can flag that here. And I can use this filter. This filter is pretty awesome, actually. If I wanted to see all of the high severity IPS protections, there we go. Right, there are many, 7,919. Maybe I want to see all the high severities with a low confidence level, right? How confident are we that we can pick this up, that it won't be a false positive? There's only 372. Now I'm looking at 372 IPS protections, right? So just very powerful. This is updated and maintained by our threat cloud. You can see updates here. If I click on the update tab, I've got this scheduled to update every 2 hours. I could update it now. You can configure it, to your preference, right? It's pretty non-invasive for me in my home environment. I could see where you might want to schedule this daily and maybe run it in the evening because it does require a policy push. All right, that's IPS. That's threat prevention. You can see that there is HTTPS here as well. HTTPS inspection is really useful for application control and URL filtering and the like, just like we've demonstrated. And here's how we're defining it. Just real quick, you can see that I've got this HTTPS inspection group. that's actually getting inspected. Everything else, excuse me, everything else is bypassed on my network. All right. What I'd like to do now, there are a lot of other components here that we could get into. I could walk through all these custom policy tools. The threat wiki is pretty cool. This is the easy button that lets you search our malware database, and you can filter it, by category or type or risk level. But I don't want to get too deep into the weeds with all of these things. I think what we would like to do now is just kind of come to the gateway and servers tab. This is the gateway that's protecting my home lab. I can double click it to open the properties of the gateway object. This is where I would configure my blades. If you guys, let me send this over here. I've shared this slide before. Here are the different blades. We have firewall blade package. We have next gen firewall blade package, right? And then we have the NGTP blade package that includes all of these. And finally, NGTX. This is where you would enable those blades. So here's URL filtering. Identity awareness is a good one, right? This is the blade that it really enhances the security of your network by allowing you to enforce access control policies based on identity of users and computers, and it really does that through Active Directory integration. So pretty powerful. This is where you would flip that on and configure it. Here's where you would turn on your threat prevention blades. So you can see the blades that I am running from a threat prevention perspective here on the configuration page for threat prevention. To the left, you have this navigation menu. I can look at my networking. You can see the NICs that I've got configured. This is my internal network. This is my external port that is connected to my outgoing network connection. So everything from this network that's going out to the internet goes out this network. There are some HTTPS settings here. This is where you're going to enable it and do your certificate management. You would need to import the certificate into the browser on your station, on your laptop, on your desktop, whatever the device is, in order to support those informational messages. There's some anti-bot, antivirus stuff. There's a lot of things here. Here's some stuff on IPS. This is interesting. If you do turn on IPS and you're concerned about the amount of resources and the performance impact on your network, you can configure this automatic disable. This basically says, hey, if I go over 90%, I'm going to disable 90% on CPU. I'm going to disable IPS. And once it drops below 70, I will re-enable it again. So that's how this works. Just a nice tool to give you some peace of mind when you're testing out deploying IPS into your network. All right, let me come out of here. Just maybe a couple of other things that's pretty cool here. There are some actions that you can perform right from here, like install hotfixes. You can even upgrade to the next version. So these are newer features to R81. There were other methods that you had to employ to upgrade to a new jumbo hotfix or a new version, but now you can do it right out of SmartConsole. You can also launch a shell, so we can do that. So let's open that up, log in. So this is the Gaia interface right on the gateway. So this is the Linux-based interface. I can do CP stat firewall, and that's going to tell me some basic information about my policy. You can see that the name of the policy is standard. Here is when it was last installed, and here's some information about my Ethernet traffic. So you can quickly get to the Gaia Linux shell from here as well. Logs and monitor really is the last piece that I wanted to hit and show you guys some information. So let's do that. That'll take just a second for it to come up. All right, so okay, so here's your basic log screen, right? So I can look at everything in the last 24 hours. Some of the cool things that you can do is you can write a query. So you know, if I wanted to see, you can see that I have all of these search filters that I could add to the search line. If I wanted to look for a particular box, I can do a search on that. And here's everything where the source is my ThinkPad. So that's what we've got. That's all the traffic here. I could make that a favorite so that I can just click on it. You can see that I've got a favorite here. My laptop accepts. So this is all the accept traffic for my laptop. There are some pre-defined searches, but so you can get very granular here. And it's pretty powerful stuff with the added filters. You could also browse over here on the right. You can see your top destinations, right? Look at that. This is my top destination over the last 24 hours. I'm not even sure what this site is. Google DNS and some other boxes. I can look at my top sources. Of course, my work laptop is the top source. Oh, it's only showing my laptop because I wasn't showing everything. There we go, top sources. So those are all my top sources. So just a nice feature where you can quickly at the tip of your fingers get to the heavy hitters, just driving some intelligence out of your logs because you know, although they're human readable, it's impossible to just look at the log screen and see any intelligent pattern. One of the things that helps you to see patterns is the ability to take a look at some unique views. And one of the things that I wanted to show you is applications and sites. I love this view. It's so helpful. I've got it loaded right here. So you can see in the last 24 hours in my home, we have pushed 19.2 gig of total traffic. And you can see the number one application is YouTube, 6.8 gigs of YouTube, 5.1 gigs of streaming, Netflix streaming. We've got Apple, we've got Zoom, we've got Facebook. So here's a quick look at what applications are eating up my bandwidth. Here is a look at users by traffic. So you can see that the Amazon Echo is extremely busy. My daughter's MacBook, really this is her MacBook. The Roku, right, it's streaming. Here's a school ThinkPad. And here's my ThinkPad, 1.2 gig. All of this stuff is drillable. So look, I've got a drop here. I can drill in on it just by clicking. So let's click into this bad boy. There we go. You can see the drop. There are 58 of them. Let's take a look at them, drilling into them. Here are the 58 drops. Um, just by quick inspection, we can see that it was dropped by rule 10.5. We know that that is my internet rule, right? Internet rule base. So 10.1, there it is. 10.1, the cleanup rule for my internet rule set. So just really helpful uh, tool to see who and what is eating up your bandwidth. And I bet you if you were running this on your network now, you would get a hoot out of what you were finding. The other piece of information that's interesting is this compliance view. We do have a compliance blade. If you are needing to comply to a particular security standard framework, um, we can support you in that. You can see how I'm doing in regulatory compliance against some popular frameworks out there. NIST 800, ISO, HIPAA, PCI, SOX, GDPR. You can drill into these. I can drill into the NIST 800 to see how I am doing and how I might improve. So here's a medium one. We can drill into it. I think it's thinking. Oh, there we go. We can move this up and take a look. So here are the rules. So it's telling me here are the best practices. Only 5 out of the 8 items are secure. I've got some work to do on these other 3 as it pertains to IPsec and VPN tunneling, which isn't configured here. So just a really helpful view. Maybe the most helpful view with this guy. Hold on a second. Let it refresh. There we go. Maybe the most helpful view is the security best practices, right? These are 220 best practices as defined by our R&D experts here at Checkpoint. There are 220 of them. You can see how I'm doing here. 26% of these 220 are rated poor. I can drill into that. What is so poor about my network? And you can see here they all are. On the check that the access control policy has a defined instant chat policy. So I'm not doing that at all. I guess that is part of what's considered standard practice. I can copy this to the clipboard. I can actually go into the policy here. And no, I can't. Okay, I thought maybe I could. I can schedule a reminder to take action, which is pretty interesting. All right. There are a lot of other things that I could kind of give you a detour of. Lots of different menus. Manage and settings has a number of things. I mean, maybe the most interesting thing here to show you, and then we'll end our time together is revisions. This allows you to revert back to a point in time. My furthest point in time back is March 13th. I can right click it, go to actions, and revert to this version. So if I had some kind of catastrophic event that was breaking things today, I could revert back to a state where I knew things were working well. Of course, there's a lot of considerations in making that leap, especially the delta of time and the changes that were made in between. But just a fallback capability in the event of an emergency. All right, I hope that was helpful. I do appreciate you guys sticking with me. It's been about 40 minutes, so I am going to end this. If you have any questions, just drop me a message. You guys know how to find me. Appreciate it. Thanks.